Alright, so hello guys and welcome, and today we will be playing some mono red heroic. Now this is a very aggressive mono red deck which not a lot of people play, and that's probably a reason for it, so I don't think this deck will be super amazing, but I think it will be a lot of fun to play in this meta where everybody plays what they really want. We play 12 of the main creatures, which we use as the win conditions, 4 of the Akuran Crusaders, which has a heroic ability. When it's targeted by a spell that we cast, we create a 1/1 red soldier token with haste, and the same is true for the Satyr Hoplite, which basically has the ability as well, but instead of creating the token with haste, it gets a +1/+1 counter. Now we have a Champion of the Flame, which is a 1/1 for 2 with Trample, and it gets +2/+2 for each aura and equipment attached to it. Now we could do the equipment route, but that would be really bad in a deck like this because the heroic doesn't benefit from the equipments. We need to play the auras, right? So we have a lot of the auras in the deck. One of them is the Aki Warpaint, which gives a creature +2/+1, very simple. 2 cartouches of Zeal, which when it ETBs, target creature can't block this turn and the creature gets +1/+1 and has haste. 2 Dust Coronas, +2/+0 and can't be blocked by creatures with flying. That could be really good against fairies, for example. The best aura in the deck, I think, is Fur of the Bittern, which is +2/+2. That's a lot for 1 mana, but the creature is goaded, basically it needs to attack whenever it can. And the last aura is Taste for Mayhem, which is +2/+0, but if we are Hellbent, which we most likely will be at some point when we consider the mana cost of the deck, right? The average mana cost, it gets +4/+0 instead, which is quite a lot for 1 mana. We of course play Mutagenic Growth, which helps to trigger the Heroic of the Crusader and the Hoplite. It doesn't help with the Champion of the Flame, but it can serve as a protection spell in some edge cases. Talking about the protection spells, the Apostle's Blessing is the only one we play. It's really good to play in red since red doesn't have access to most protection spells, and it's really good. We are trying 1 Rimrock Knight, which has an adventure part which gives a creature +2/+0 until end of turn, and later we can cast it as a 3/1 which can't block for 2 mana. And we are playing 1 Battle Rage. You guys probably know this card very well, right? And what's special about this version is the Molten Monstrosity, which is a 5/5 with Trample, but it costs 7 and 1 red, but it costs X less to cast, where X is the greatest power among creatures we control, which hopefully with this deck we will have a lot of power on our creatures, and this guy will cost like 1 or 2 mana. Now, this is the dividing factor between 2 decks, because I have the turbo version, which basically is a tiny bit different. It plays the Simian Spirit Guide and it looks to end the game really quickly. And the second version is more to the ground, but it plays the Molten Monstrosity as a backup plan if we have 1 big creature and it is not enough. Now, the Molten Monstrosity is really bad if the creature dies, since it costs like 8 and we can't really cast that, but of course if the creature dies we probably lost anyway, so it doesn't really matter, I think, and I really wanna see if this version with the Monstrosity is better, or if the version that's really fast with the Simian Spirit Guide is better. So when we jump into the games, I will tell you which version we are playing beforehand, so that you know, of course. And these sideboards are both the same to both of the versions. We are playing 2 Gorilla Shamans against the Artifact lands, most likely. 2 Mark of the Furies, this is good in grindier matchups. This is basically an aura which is repeatable to trigger the heroic effects. 3 Raise the Effigies, not only it can destroy an artifact, but it can help to trigger the heroic yet again with the second option. For red elemental blasts, fairies, terror, and maybe something like high tide. High tide is really annoying to us, so we need some way to beat it, of course. Stinge is usually good to target the heroic creatures and to protect against something like Snuff Out, I think. Yeah, this card is played against Snuff Out, which basically the creature becomes black and the Snuff Out just fizzles, it doesn't do anything. 1 Hazard could be good against fairies or elves. I'm not sure how good this card really is after the Kuldota was banned, of course. And 2 Flaring Pains, which is very important against fog decks and against prismatic strands. And that's the deck. Let me know which version do you think is better, and I will see you in the games. And if you're someone who wants to give or get some MTG advice, if you love MTG brainstorming, you want to see some budget decks, or just be discussing things like Pauper or any other formats, or you maybe want to find someone to play with, we now have an MTG Discord server for the community, which you can join by clicking on the first link in the video description. We are looking forward to seeing you here. Alright, so we go first against Paolito, and we are playing the version with the Molten Monstrosity here, so we will go first. And we find a pretty good hand, which can end the game very quickly. We have 3 lands, which is quite a lot. But we've got Champion of the Flame, which if doesn't get removed is pretty powerful. We will see if they play any removal. They definitely do play removal. They play Fateless Looting, could be Madness. If it's Madness, they definitely have a lot of removal. Storm Shriek Feral, we don't know if it's mono red or if it's Rakdos. I would assume it's Rakdos. We will play it slow here. Okay, we find the Forgotten Cave, and since I'm not planning to... Well, there are multiple things we could do here. We could either play the Forgotten Cave if we want to have that many lands, or we could just play the mountain, cycle the cave, which is probably what we're gonna do, and see if we find some 1-drop maybe. Here's a Crusader, which is awesome. This is a removal bait, because if they have something like a Bolt here, and they bolt this, that's awesome. Because then we can go with the Champion of the Flame and make this so big they can't do anything about it. That's exactly what we want here. The other plan was to play the Forgotten Cave, since we haven't had much to play this turn anyway, right? But okay, they tap 1 and Chain Lightning that, which is completely okay. We will go all in on the champion here. Okay, we've got Mutagenic Growth as well, so I'm not really scared about this getting removed. We will go for the Fur here. This will be a 5/5. It can be a 7/7, which means it doesn't die to Double Bolt, very important. And next turn and up, we can even give it protection with the Apostle's Blessing. If they have something like Double Bolt or maybe Bolt Galvanic Blast, we can of course use the growth. Okay, they go for Voldar and a Picker. We don't mind small blockers simply because this guy's Trampler, right? And step. So they could have something like, oh, they don't have a land, that's good for us. 4th land is quite a lot, but let's go for the Warpaint. We've got a 9/8, that's basically 2-turn clock with the growth, so this has to attack, which it definitely will. And yeah, we've got the Apostle's Blessing, we've got the growth. I think we are in a pretty good spot here. Next turn we can kill with the growth even if we really want to, so... Okay, they probably... Yeah, they grab the prize and play the Kitchen Imp. So this is lethal next turn. We kill them. Oh, Snacker, okay. Yeah, so we give protection from red, and if they attack with the Imp, of course. Oh, well... Sure, we win then even without the Apostle's Blessing this turn. Okay, let's just cycle the cave to see what we would have gotten. Another growth, that's awesome. Okay, so let's attack. Yeah, let's growth. And pay 2 life for the growth, and that's it. They're at 0. Let's go to the sideboard. Now, I have to say, I don't know which version are they playing. They could be playing the artifact version, in which case Raise the Effigy and Gorilla Shaman are very good. Flaring Pain probably not gonna be very good against them. I'm not sure if we want to play the Monstrosities post sideboard. I think what we can do here is definitely try Raise the Effigies and Gorilla Shamans if they are playing artifacts, because we haven't seen any bridges, we haven't seen even Vault of Whispers or Great Furnace. I kinda like the Mark though. This matchup can get a little grindy too. Dust Corona is good against them because Snackers and so on, so I will go for Taste of Mayhem here. Cut that. We'll try the Marks here. I think only 1 though, because they can still remove it. The Gorilla Shaman is decent in multiple ways. We will try Raise the Effigy as well. 1 Zeal. Yeah, Raise the Effigy. The reason why I'm so careful with this sideboard is because we don't know if they're playing the artifact package, right? If we were 100% sure, I would slam the Gorilla Shamans instantly, but we don't know that. Okay, we find the double Apostle's Blessing hand, which is actually good against this matchup. They mulligan to 6 as well. We will keep this. We are on the draw. 3 lands, obviously a lot, but double blessing is a blessing against their deck, so mulligan to 4. What is that? I think they want to find specifically like something, right? Okay, they go for Razor type Gorge. Okay, we find another Crusader, which is quite beautiful. Let's play one immediately. We could wait, you know, to play together with the Blessing and whatnot, but I think we will just wait with that. Okay, they go for Jagged Barons. I think they will bolt it instantly. Yes, that's expected. Okay, Rimrock Knight is nice. We can definitely play that. We could also... Okay. So let's go for the Crusader. Now, we could do multiple things here. We could instantly target it to make the soldier with haste. But I'm thinking we will hold up the blessing here. That's more like it, I think. Since I'm assuming, even though they have 2 cards, they will have something to kill this, right? If not, we will gladly slam the Rimrock Knight. Okay, it looks like a discard spell of some sort. Grab the prize, yeah. They discard Epic here, combat. We will just chill here. We will keep the blessings tight and yeah. Very important not to overcommit against them, right? If they had bolt, we would Rimrock Knight. This dies, it could get a little clunky if we don't draw an aura for the champion, but obviously very unlucky draw from them. But I think with the blessings, it was pretty safe. GG. Okay, so hello guys, we are here with the conclusion, and basically both of the versions were very similar. The monstrosity, we barely draw it in the games, but it was cool to have it. We draw it like 1 or 2 times and it paid off pretty well, I would say. The problem with the deck is though, when we are facing red decks, the Apostle's Blessing doesn't work that well, and that is simply because when we have the auras on, let's say, the Crusader, and we target it with a blessing, all the auras fall off, of course, because it gives it protection from red. So that was problem number 1. And number 2, I think we could play some auras which basically draw cards and filter more cards, like Dragon's Mantle, or maybe some Marks of Fury in the main deck. But other than that, the deck was pretty cool. I think I could see making some small changes to the mana base and to the auras we actually play to make it more competitive. But I was enjoying it. It was a fringe deck. We got some really nice wins against some very strong decks. And sometimes we got absolutely destroyed by removal, but that's something you can't really dodge. So definitely, if you like this type of deck, you can play around with it and actually build it. I think it's actually quite cheap. It's very aggressive. We got some turn 3 wins as well. It's a lot of fun to play if you're just starting out. So yeah, let me know in the comments how would you improve this deck and if you're someone who would build this. So see you soon and bye.